A recently released collection of declassified U.S. intelligence documents has revived scrutiny over the events surrounding the 2016 presidential election, particularly the origins of the widely publicized investigation into alleged ties between Donald Trump's campaign and Russia. According to the documents, intelligence leaders under the Obama administration may have misrepresented or altered assessments of Russian involvement in order to cast doubt on the legitimacy of Trump's election victory. The release was authorized by current intelligence leadership and spans over 100 pages. The material suggests that between September and December 2016, prior to the full emergence of the so-called Russiagate narrative, 17 U.S. intelligence agencies conducted a joint assessment on whether Russia had interfered in the election. Their preliminary conclusion reportedly indicated that while cyber activities targeting U.S. election infrastructure had occurred, they had not affected the outcome of the vote. One critical finding cited in the newly released documents is a December 7, 2016, presidential daily briefing that stated Russian cyber efforts had not changed any voting results. However, 2 days later, then-President Obama reportedly convened a high-level national security meeting, after which senior officials were instructed to revise the report on Russia's election interference. The revised version of the report, which was released publicly in January 2017, emphasized Russia's alleged efforts to help Trump win the election. The revision reportedly drew heavily on the so-called Steele dossier, a compilation of intelligence memos created by a former British intelligence officer. The dossier, funded by political interests aligned with Hillary Clinton's campaign, has since been the subject of substantial controversy and investigation. According to the declassified documents, multiple U.S. intelligence agencies at the time, including the NSA and FBI, rated the credibility of some claims, particularly those involving cyber intrusions into U.S. government systems, as low. However, this lack of confidence was reportedly omitted from the final report released to the public. Edits also removed language noting that Russian activities had failed to influence the election results. The former administration's intent, the documents suggest, may have been to cast doubt on the legitimacy of the incoming president. The same period saw the launch of multiple congressional investigations and legal actions, including 2 impeachment proceedings and various lawsuits, many of which stemmed from the original Russia-related claims. The fallout, analysts say, extended beyond domestic politics. The period saw a marked deterioration in U.S.-Russia relations, with tensions reaching levels not seen since the Cold War. Domestically, trust in electoral processes was also undermined, deepening partisan divides. Among those named in the documents are several high-ranking officials from the Obama administration, including former CIA Director John Brennan, former FBI Director James Comey, former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, and former National Security Advisor Susan Rice. Investigations into some of these individuals, including for possible perjury before Congress, are reportedly underway. U.S. officials who disclosed the information have stated that no individual, regardless of former status or influence, should be immune to legal accountability if wrongdoing is confirmed. The disclosures are being characterized as part of a broader effort to restore public trust in the integrity of U.S. government institutions. So far, no formal responses have been issued by members of the Obama administration regarding these latest allegations. However, political observers anticipate that this may be only the first wave in a series of public releases intended to re-examine the role of former officials during and after the 2016 election. The renewed focus on past political conduct comes at a time when former President Trump has returned to the White House. His administration appears to be actively revisiting several unresolved matters from previous political cycles. One of these includes a separate inquiry into whether certain federal agencies withheld information about President Biden's health or misused digital tools to authorize executive decisions. While the long-term political and legal implications remain unclear, the release of these documents is already having a significant impact on Washington's political climate. With further disclosures anticipated, the coming months could see a new chapter in the ongoing debate over the integrity of America's democratic institutions.